Hello students, welcome to our today lecture. In our previous lecture, we have discussed that how to determine equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity with the help of graph. In our today lecture, we are going to discuss that how can we calculate equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity when we have some mathematical equations. So here we have two equations. First one is q equals to 100 minus 6p, and second one is q equals to 28 plus 3p. Basically, both equations have only q. We have to decide ourselves that out of them which one is quantity demand equation and which one is quantity supply equation. As you can see that I have mentioned that this equation is quantity demand equation and this equation is quantity supply equation. The question arises why I have given this as quantity demand equation name and why I have given this equation as quantity supply equation. The reason is simple that in this equation P has negative sign. So as we already discussed in law of demand that quantity demand is negatively related with price. So that's why we name this equation as quantity demand equation. And we have already discussed in law of supply that price and supply are positively related. When price increases, supply increases. So price and supply have positive relationship. So in this equation, P has positive sign. So we write this equation as quantity supply equation. And 100 in this equation is intercept. And similarly, in this equation, 28 is shown as intercept. So as we have quantity demand and quantity supply equation, so for equilibrium we have to put these QD equals to QS for equilibrium condition, and after showing QD equals to QS we have to simply put on quantity demand equation instead of QD, and we have to write quantity supply equation from this to here. QD equals to 100 minus 6p, so we have written as 100 equals to QD equals to 100 minus 6p, and for QS we have written QS equals to 28 plus 3p. So after writing both of these equations we simply interchange the variables. We have transferred constant to one side of the equal and we have transferred a variable to the other side of the equation. When we transfer this 28 to left hand side of the equation, it will become negative, and when we subtract 100 minus 28, the remaining will be 72. And when we transfer this minus 6p to this p, this sign will become positive, and 3p plus 6p will become 9p. So we have to find price, and we have to separate this 9 from this p. So 9 is multiplying with this p, and when we transfer this 9 to other side of the equation, and according to mathematical rule, if any number is dividing is multiplying on one side, and when we transfer it to the other side of the equation, it will reverse its position, so it will divide on the other side. So 9 is multiplied by with p, so when we transfer this p to this side, it will divide it by 72, and when we divide 72 with 9, we have equilibrium price P equals to 8. Now we have to check that whether our answer is correct or wrong. We have to simply put this P into both these equations, QD equals to QS, and quantity answer must be same. In first step we have QD equals to 100 minus 6p, and we are putting price here instead of p. So these two terms are multiplying. So when we multiply 8 with 6, we have 48, and when we subtract 48 from 100, the remaining answer is 52. So quantity demand is 52. We have to do similar procedure with this quantity supply equation, 28 plus 3p, and we have put on the value of p, which is 8, and 8 is multiplying by 3, and when we multiply 8 with 3, it becomes 24. So 28 plus 24 equal to 52. So we came to know that QD equals to QS. So it's mean our price answer is true, and QD equals to QS. Also market is in equilibrium. We can similarly show these effect in graph. So here on y-axis we have taken the price, and on x-axis we have taken the quantity. So this is the positive slope, which is supply curve, and this is the negative slope, which is demand curve. So here the demand and supply are equal. So at this point equilibrium exists, and against this point this is the equilibrium price, which is 8, and against this equilibrium point it is our equilibrium quantity, which is 52, and demand and supply both are equal at this point.